Alright guys, I am back with my WWE Raw review for the 27th for the 10th 2014, and I thought this Raw was a decent show. I didn't think it was a bad show, but we had a decent show, and basically it was the night after Hell in a Cell, and basically the Raw was decent. They set up a match for Survivor Series, which I thought was good, and apart from that, that was about it really. They built up to really not much at all, except from that main event. But and also we had a Mark Henry heel turn, which is awesome in my opinion. Mark Henry as the heel is awesome in my opinion, so that's good. So we opened up Raw this week with Authority coming out again. Basically, Triple H and Stephanie talk about Hell in a Cell. They talk about Seth Rollins beating Dean Ambrose. They talk about John Cena beating Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton's pissed off. He says that he would have beaten Rollins, he would have beaten Cena, last night at Hell in a Cell, if Rollins didn't curse off him last week on Raw. And then Orton and then Randy Orton and Triple H go back and forth on the mic. Then Randy Orton RKO Seth Rollins, and then runs backstage. So again, Randy Orton did another Vine again, which I thought was awesome. The fans erupted. So it kind of looks like it's going to be a Randy Orton and Seth Rollins feud soon. Maybe at Survivor Series, or maybe a TLC. I don't really know. But it kind of looks like Randy Orton's turning babyface and leaving the Authority. Then we get to the first match tonight, which was Henry and Big Show versus Dust Brothers. This was an alright match. Mark Henry and Big Show tease a bit of friction between between two of them, and they don't really try to get along. So then Henry body slams, Will Strongest slams Big Show twice. Then he throws Stardust onto Big Show. Stardust picks up the win, and the Dust Brothers retain the tag titles. So it was an alright match. Then we get to Reigns. Then we get to Michael Cole interviewing Reigns. Reigns talks about the match between Ambrose and Rollins. He said it was an awesome match. He says when he gets back when he returns, he says he's gonna beat up Seth Rollins. Then we get to the second match of the night, which was AJ versus Alicia Fox. It was AJ won with a roll up. I didn't really care about the match too much. Paige was on commentary. That was too loud again. Then we get a segment. Cena comes out. He talks about his match with Orton. Then he talks about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, I think. And then Stephanie comes out. She says that she wants him to join the Authority. He says, well, I don't want to turn my back on the fans. Well, basically, if Cena joined the Authority, I think that'd be pretty cool. Imagine how much cooler John Cena would be if he joined the Authority. Like, that'd be so much cooler. That was so much cool for his character. He would have finally a cool character in the WWE. And John Cena, we've said for many years, and I know this will happen, he needs a heel turn, he needs a character change, but I don't think he doesn't really need, he's already heel. He just needs to be a bit cooler as a heel. I think if he was part of the Authority, I think that'll do him a lot better. But he says no, he's not going to join the Authority. Then Triple H comes out. He says that Survivor Series is going to be Team Authority versus Team Cena, and he says that it doesn't matter what John Cena is, the Authority has the future. Talking about Seth Rollins and the other guys, and basically Triple H and John Cena have a good promo segment, which I thought was really good. And glad those every time Triple H and John Cena have a promo, you always see that those two guys together really have good chemistry on the mic, because they always produce the best stuff in the WWE on the mic, so that was good. Then we get to the third match tonight, which was the Usos versus Miz and Sandow. We do get a We Want Sandow chant, which I thought was really good. We Want Miz Sandow chant, sorry. I thought the match was decent to good. I thought it was alright. The Usos did dive on Miz and Miz. And then after the match, one of the Usos, I think the other Uso gets gets attacked by the Miz. Then the referee's distracted by Sandow, and then the other Uso switches, and then he rolls up Miz for the win. I thought it was a decent to good match. It was an alright match. So it kind of looks like maybe an Uso and maybe Miz and Sandow, and kind of looks like maybe these four guys are gonna feud. I don't really know. I don't really care, but like I said, I think these four guys are going to feud. Then we get to what? Oh yeah, then Kane talks to Dolph backstage. Kane says, "Oh, I've heard that you talked to Cena backstage." It says, "If you anybody talks to John Cena, it's an injustice to the authority or something." And then he says that tonight he wants a match with Dolph, so that's another match for tonight. Then Hogan comes out. He talks about breast cancer, and he talks about the Cena and Orton match. Talks about Brock Lesnar a bit, and then after, that was about it. Then we get to the fourth match of the night, which was Bo Dallas versus a mystery opponent. So Bo Dallas comes out, he says he's throwing an open challenge for anybody. Ryback comes out, and it's Ryback versus Bo. Ryback's a babyface now, he's got the whole Themey Mode gimmick back, which I think is awesome. Ryback really needs a babyface turn, and him with a Themey Mode gimmick will hopefully build him back up to be a big star again in the WWE. I hope that this time round, now Ryback's a babyface now, I hope that the WWE don't screw this guy over, because he could be a big star for the WWE. We need to build him. He needs a lot of rebuilding up, because he's been buried loads of times over this past year in 2013. So you really need to build up Ryback really strong the rest of this year and next year. We need to really build him really strong, because if you want to really make Ryback a main event star, you need to start really building him up strong now, and don't feed him up to John Cena next summer like he did last year. So that's something that the WWE should be doing. So yeah, and then after that, the fifth match, the fifth match was supposed to be Cesaro versus Ambrose, but basically Cesaro, before the match, Ambrose cut a promo on Bray. Then he talks about his match in Hell in a Cell. Then Ambrose and Cesaro brawl on the ramp. Then Bray Wyatt comes on the screen, and he cuts a promo on Ambrose, saying that him and Ambrose are similar with the characters, and that basically that they don't belong in this world. And he says that one day, I think also teasing him actually knows guys. I thought this was a good promo by Bray Wyatt, so it kind of like a Bray Wyatt and an Ambrose feud, which is awesome in my opinion. I'm a fan of both guys. I think that this is going to be good television for the next few months. I think this could last up to the Royal Rumble, in my opinion, if they build it right. If the WWE creative team have got their heads on correctly, they could build up this Ambrose and Rollins feud really well. They could have Dean Ambrose go to the White's house, go to Bray's house and attack and stuff, and then on the next week on Raw you have Bray Wyatt come from under the rafters or something, and beat up Dean Ambrose and almost kill him and stuff. They can do anything with that. I'm just thinking of ideas like what they can do and stuff. But that was a good idea. Then we got to the sixth match. The sixth match tonight, which was Naomi versus Nikki. Nikki wins with the Torture Rack. Alright match. Seventh match tonight, which was Kane versus Dolph. Dolph wins by roll up. Then Cena saves Dolph because Rollins and Kane were attacking him. So it kind of looks like Cena and Dolph are going to be. It kind of looks like Dolph's going to be on Cena's team. Then we get to the seventh match tonight, the eighth match tonight, which was Cena versus Rollins. It was a really good match here. The crowd were really into it. A lot of false finishes. Ambrose does a buckle bomb, then Cena does a STF, then Rollins gets out, then Rollins hits a few Pele's, then so obviously Cena kicks out, then Kane comes out and he attacks. Kane, Joey Mercury, and Jamie Noble attack Cena. Then the whole we have the whole Raw roster come out. We have all the roster come out. They all brawl. They all attack each other. Then after that, Triple H and Stephanie come out. They watch the rest of the roster brawl. Then Rollins is with them as well. Then after that, Cena, AA's, Slater, and Bo Dallas, and that was the end of the show. I thought Raw this week was a pretty decent show. It was the main event. They built up the main event match for Survivor Series, which is going to be Team Cena versus Team Authority. So that's going to be basically your main event of the show. And also they built up Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt for Survivor Series. And that's about it really. So that, guys, is my WWE Raw review for the 27th of the 10th 2014. What do you guys think of the show? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching, guys. Brad out.